I want to start this speech by thanking everybody here for coming and sharing this day with me and my wife. Proven to be, quite as everybody tells you, it is the happiest day of your life, and it's been amazing so far. I want it to end, really. Let's everybody in this room has travelled a long, long way. That was intentional. We were trying to save a bit of money on the wedding. Oh, joking. Well, I'm joking. The fact you travel so far, it means the world to me and Rachel. In particular, not sure go to the international contingent because we've got a few of you here. I've got Jason somewhere from Ohio. Thanks, mate. We've got Sings from Australia and the Whelands from Texas. So thank you very much for making that. Okay, I've had the pleasure of attending quite a few weddings in the last couple of years. It comes with the nature of being this sort of age, I guess. I've used this experience to shape my speech, so I've made a few observations of those people in the room. So this speech will be funnier than Danny Whiffnall's. And hopefully the wedding will last a little bit longer. It'll be no way as long as Manny's, because that will be bloody impossible. It won't contain as many tears or as much snot as Bozzy's. It'll be original, like Tomo's internet speech 2 weeks ago. And it will not contain as many big posh words as Ronnie's, but less Punjabi than Sophie's. Yeah, some of you know I sat in this chair, well, that chair, a couple of weeks ago at Tomo's, as Tomo's best man. So I'm a bit of a professional scouring the internet and trying to find speeches I can nick. I have to say it's a lot easier to write this speech, if I'm honest, because the emphasis on this one's all about sentiment rather than making a funny joke. And today I'm pretty much in love with everybody, particularly Mrs. MacGregor. Okay, I've got loads of thank yous, but I'll come on to them in a minute. So I want to start by thanking Brian and Pam. When I decided I was going to ask Rachel to marry me, I did the honourable thing, as Brian alluded to before. I asked Brian's permission, but that wasn't before running the idea past Pam first. Perhaps that's a sign of things to come, I don't know. I have to be honest, when I asked Brian, it was the most daunting thing I'd ever done in my entire life. It took me 10 minutes to convince him to turn off the Wanderers. I sat there awkwardly, absolutely crapping my pants. I don't turn off the TV. Anyway, I told him how much I love Rachel and that I wanted permission to marry her. He said no. I'm not even joking. He still hasn't said yes. You just witnessed the fact that I put Brian's on a few words, but that was quite impressive. And he's definitely an advocate of the awkward joke. And I think he left that one hanging a little bit too long. But I've asked Rachel anyway, she said yeah, as you can all see. Even that day, before Pam and Brian, they've been usually welcoming. Brian did start a little bit cold, if I'm honest, but I don't blame him. I've been the same when my daughter brought home a Doberman. He drove an Elridge Astra. I can't believe I put Rach driving a silver bullet. Okay, Mum and Dad. We've both been blessed to receive superb upbringings, and I hope that we've done, well, certainly me, I've done a reasonable job for both Mum and Dad. I hope you're both proud of me. My mum now works for me, so if she's not proud, then I'll dock her wages. Company card will be behind the bar, I don't care. I love you both very dearly, and I thank you both for teaching me many life lessons. You've done an awesome job of bringing me up and my sisters, and they'll no doubt continue with grandkids. And hopefully, eventually, when we do have kids, we can do as good a job as you do. So thank you so much. Rachel MacGregor. I find it frankly ridiculous that I stand here married to you, because you amaze me every single day. I love the fact you're so laid back and you put up with some of the ridiculous things I do even when you're clearly frustrated. I love so many things about you. You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I realised about this time last year that I'd stopped doing the me and I thing, and I started thinking of us all the time. At that point I thought it's time to ask her to marry me. It's the best thing I ever did, so I'm really glad I did it. I'm really glad you said yes. You look incredible today, and I really don't want to stay to win. Luckily, we've got 3 weeks of honeymoon. I find it pretty hard to sum up how I feel about Rachel, because it simply is just too much for me to say. I admire her, I respect her, and I love her. I cannot wait to grow with you. I love you. So on to the thank you. That was the hard card, I'm alright now. The thank yous I want to give on behalf of both Rachel Rachel and I, because she's going to get a chance to speak. People who got me to stay last time, I know. So thanks to go to Andrew and John for giving their readings at the ceremony. Thank you for that, wherever you are. Thanks to Alan for running the bus so well at the beginning, because that bus caused a lot of problems that most of you would have noticed. It was a bit of a nightmare. I can't take any credit whatsoever, because I've done about this much compared to Rachel, so I know it's like. So thanks to Alan, and hopefully we'll be here in a little while. Thanks to Heather. Where are you going? Heather. Thanks to her for doing Rachel's hair and makeup, and a very easy job of making it look perfect. I have to mention the bridesmaids. It goes without saying that you look amazing, but I'm saying it anyway, you do, you look amazing. You get thanked from me for supporting Rachel not only during the wedding situation, but for the years you all know. Because you do a great job, I know she loves you dearly. She doesn't stop talking about both her endos. She doesn't tell me anything that happened on the endos. She doesn't talk about both the endos. A weekend do for us, a week in Portugal. She, on Rachel's behalf, she wants to thank you for helping her on the run up to the wedding, and thank you for being the bestest best friends in the world. That's a quote. If you don't like, would you mind just standing for me, please, to raise your glasses to the bridesmaids? To the bridesmaids. Thank you. Not finished yet, so sit down then. Okay, there's one last bit I'm going to finish with, and that's the best man. He was absolutely crafty. I've never seen this man so quiet. Never seen it. But to be fair, I was sympathy for him because, as I said, I was there 2 weeks ago. And Tomo, it was one of the greatest days of my life at Tomo's wedding. But after the speech, because it is horrendous. If you ever get elected to be a best man, it's a curse and a blessing, I'm telling you. So, Bynoe, I'm not sure if I want to thank you just yet, mate. We'll see. I'm blessed to be surrounded by many good mates, but I've been close to Bynoe for the longest. I must firstly thank you for arranging my stag do. Apart from making me dress like a fairy and taking me to Prague on Gay Pride Week. It was pretty good. And we spent a lot of time together, me and Bynoe, over the years, and I reckon I could probably do a best man speech on top of me because we spent so much time together. There's many of us saying that. I suppose with those experiences I probably wouldn't share with you. Nonetheless. Yeah, you're truly a brother I've never had, and we used to love going around telling people that. We used to say, like, you know, we're actual brothers, and we were watching with straight faces, they squirmed and that was genetically possible. Bynoe has the same sense of humour as me, and so his best man speech will probably be the best you've ever seen. Sure. It can be quite an intimidating lad, so even if it's not, I'm sure you'll tell me it was anyway. He just got me some discount on the boat. I was at this last stage, I was tempted to throw in a bit of a preemptive defence about what he's about to say, but I figured I'd go for the sentimental angle. So if he slates me with his fabricated stories, then he'll look awful. So on that note, I'll pass you up to my hero. A man I love dearly, my brother and my best man, Mr. Bynoe.
Just going to say, come a long way. I want to thank the ushers, Mike and Tomo. Tomo, sorry, and Kichi, good job. I'm just going to say, Tomo spent 2 days trying to learn his port from starboard, so pretty happy that he's here, but he couldn't drive a boat anyway, so pretty much wasted time, mate. Also want to thank the bridesmaids, you all look beautiful today.
He's single.
Yeah. I've had a Bynoe, cheers, mate. I was hoping to actually give me one of what you've been, so... Well, obviously moving on to the bride, obviously, it looked beautiful today, Rachel, so hope you enjoy the day, and thanks everybody for coming, so speech over. If you don't know me, I'm Anderson. We went to school together, as Jamie said. The first thought I remember from Jamie actually being at school is we met, and I'd always see him. We'd be walking down the halls, afro combs in our hair, our uniforms on backwards like crisscross. I always felt that the boot polish that Jamie had on his face was too much. As I say, we've always been really close and similar likes, you know, sport, music, sound. But our relationship hasn't always been flawless, so... For me, as a cool kid at school, I always had a problem with hanging around with a guy with ginger hair. Trying to be cool at school, the ladies love me, naturally. But having a guy with ginger hair was always a problem. And a quiet word. Started dyeing it, so the relationship was sort of blossomed from there. We've always been really close mates. The only time I can ever remember us falling out was for 2 days when he got kicked out of science class. Got kicked off the GCSE course. Obviously his intellectual wit and Bynoe was too much for the teachers, so they kicked him out. The teacher then, having no real comeback, wanted to actually vote him back in, wanted the class to vote, so I made sure that none of us voted. Jamie spent 2 days in the cubicle, in a little cubicle, with the only other ginger which I was fixing. And he was in there for 2 days, and I thought, to be honest, our sort of relationships developed over the school years. I wanted to get him back in the class, so I put in a petition, said, right, okay, get him back in. As a black man, I always felt that people with Scottish heritage should have the same rights as I have. Back on the GCSE course, so he excels at academics, so he thanks me for everything, obviously. That's science because of me, yeah. It's not accustomed to mention any women, which I'm not going to mention anyway, because there never have been any. No relationships other than, no women, so I'm not going to mention that. He always thought he was cool, always thought he was a man with style, panache. Which is clearly not, and probably been through some of the most difficult times I've ever seen, and uncomfortable times in him trying to find his wife. Jamie always used to love to be in a club, smoking cigars for some reason, with his Tottenham pinstripes on, his overfruit shirt, and a pair of rock balls. It gets worse. Probably the worst point is that he used to give the ladies his business card. We're only 15. MacGregor, CK plastic salesman, and he thought that was really cool. So that is probably, I couldn't, to be honest, I can't understand how I were even here. Rock balls, pinstripes, business card. She did actually ring back, so. It's always been a man beyond his years, so I think the key thing with that is always had a landline, always had a business card, so then meetings on the 10 steps went awkward, I think, so I've got plenty of stories. I think you probably should ask him yourself. His love for Warhammer figurines that he used to paint as a kid, the cheese slice incident at university, and my favourite nickname for him, Double Grandad, so later on just ask him what those stories actually mean to him. Jokes aside, I just want to say that I'm privileged to be your best man. You actually are the best guy that I've ever met, my closest friend. I'm not going to well up, I'm alright. If I could emulate your achievements as a man, I'd probably be a better man myself. So I'm honoured to do this for you. Everything you do, you've excelled at, so that's why I think that's his relationship and, sort of marriage now. I'll be a sort of roaring success because Jamie's always committed to everything he's ever done. So I think it's going to be a solid relationship. Can't even speak now. Jamie's always been in love with Rachel, and I hope that he makes a good husband and hopefully one day a good father as well. So just want to, if you can stand. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure. bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. MacGregor.